Hi friends, my name is Rhonda Betteridge and I'm the Director of Family Life Ministry here at St. Luke's. I have had the privilege of working here for the past 20 years now, and if you would have asked me 20 years ago if I thought I would be working in a church office, I would have laughed. You see, through high school and college, I had some fun. I broke a ton of rules, I made a lot of mistakes, and some might even say I had a sordid past. I definitely was not a church kind of girl. And for many years, I didn't even know who Jesus was. But then I met Jesus and I began to understand who he was, who he is, what his life actually means for me personally. And it turns out 2,000 years ago, there weren't a ton of church girls either. And we read in the book of Isaiah this passage from chapter 43 in verses 18 and 19. It says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing a new thing." And we find Isaiah basically chastising the Israelites for their cycles on unfaithfulness. From the time that Moses leads them out of Egypt, out of slavery, until the time when Isaiah is talking to them, and even afterwards, the Israelites are on this roller coaster. They have a tendency to be so thankful to God for their deliverance from their circumstance, and then they slip into this cycle of unfaithfulness again, and then there's a consequence for their unfaithfulness and their disobedience. So then they cry out to God, and then he shows mercy on them. And in chapter 43, Isaiah is trying to explain that God has something great planned for them, something new and different than what they were expecting. God's plan for redemption was to send Jesus and to save the Israelites and to save the whole world. Sure, some of us have led lives that were not so spectacular. And some days it's real easy to remember those days and to wallow in our past. But when you meet Jesus, he'll do something new in your life. He'll give you unconditional love. He'll teach you things that are just so wonderful you just never knew before. He'll show you a new and different kind of future, one that you weren't expecting or even dreaming of. Turns out I was a church kind of girl after all. When I stopped looking at what I was doing and what I had done in the past, and I looked to see what Jesus did, it changed everything. And before you know it, 20 years later, I'm still working in the church office and still getting to be a wonderful part of ministry. So I pray this week you stop looking at your past and stop thinking about all those dumb things we do sometimes and focus on meeting Jesus at the cross. It'll change everything for you. Have a blessed week.